G'day guys, Ninja and Elliot here.
Hey guys.
Going to do a little bit different video today. We're going to do some superficial abs, some fascia. So tell us why you kind of thought of getting this work done.
It was in the indoor skydiving wind tunnel yesterday, and new body position I'm working on. So squeezing along the front line of the body, so under my chin here, my neck, the abs, the arms. So a lot of this basically as if I'm holding this position for a long period of time, and so feeling a bit of tightness there today.
Yeah. Pick up your mic.
Oh yeah. Need that.
Just clip it on.
Oh yeah.
All right. So and you was talking about you didn't know, like you was trying to do this, but you were down there like that. So you felt like you had to be there like that to do that.
Yeah.
So it's just disorientated where you believed your body was.
It's funny, right?
The positions of because there's so much air pressures and forces, you kind of it distorts things. So
yeah, what you think you're doing and what you're really doing can be different.
Yeah, so you look back on the tape and go, nah, it's not. That's what it felt like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do this without any wax. I'm just going to get a purchase on here, so just above his pubic bone, get a purchase on the skin, and we'll see if I can do it without wax. Because the reason I'm trying without wax first is because if I kind of have too much wax on there, I'll get too much slip and I won't get that effectiveness that I want on the superficial fascia. And if we look on the muscle chart, you'll see that through the abs, it's just white. So it's just showing there's real thick fascia, like rubbery type substances, like rubbery fabric, fascia. So we want to, that fabric is like the integrity of the muscle. It surrounds the muscle. So if you want to affect it, you can't just do it with light touch or fast touch. It's just not going to melt it and engage with it in a manner that's going to change anything. So I feel like I'm getting a bit going here. So
it's done there.
Yeah, so you can kind of feel probably where that's attaching right down onto the pubic bone, that stretch. And I'm working through. Okay, how would you describe fascia, Elliot? It'd be good to get your kind of words on it, interpretation, like the real thick stuff,
Well, I'm sure everyone's probably seen it at some point in their life or another. We probably don't realize you're looking at it, but when you're cutting up a steak and you sort of start peeling it or pulling it, you start seeing this webbing. That's connective tissue, so that's the fascia that binds like the muscle tissue together. But it's not just inside the muscle, it surrounds the muscle, it envelops pretty much everything in your body there. It surrounds your organs, it's attached to your bones as well. So it's thick connective tissue in some places, it's like quite thick, like down the side of your legs, but gets often overlooked pretty much. And what Ninja's doing to me now is that he's not just pushing straight down, he's doing quite a bit of a scraping, almost like a pulling motion. And you see my skin there, if I pull, how much that bunches up. So that's what's happening underneath my skin to the fascia underneath there. So if some people, when they're quite sedentary, a bit more tucked in, the front side of their body is going to shrivel up a bit and over time will start to contract. And that can lead to a bit of shortening in those tissues there. So it makes it hard to expand and lift yourself up.
It's one of those things that we don't often do in our life anymore is to bend backwards. A lot of, unless you're doing yoga, but a lot of people don't actually do those sort of movements to go back and chop wood or, So a lot of people, won't actually stretch out their abs. They're probably shortening their abs too. And like I know Paul Check, he talks about a lot of times when people are doing lots of ab work, but they're not doing the full stretch of their abs. They're not. If you go back over a big Swiss ball, then you can really stretch them out and then kind of do a full contraction or range of movement of the abs as well. So but it's important to do the opposite way to stretch out as well. And I think emotionally too, like when you kind of go backwards, there's an exposure of your your vulnerable parts of your body. You kind of you can't see what's in front of you type of thing, and you're exposing like the vital organs. So it's sort of can be trust kind of things to go backwards and get in those kind of positions as well. So you can kind of start to open things up. And if you do some deep breathing, things like that, I'm talking bioenergetics here too, like something that I've been into over time. So talking through experience, like to open up this front line, because we've got our vital organs, we've got our heart in there, and we've got our throat, you know, like you can have some healing, but you're gonna face some of your traumas as well while doing it. So in order to heal it, you got to feel it in a way. So you're kind of going at the pace that you can kind of go at, which sometimes you're recreating some of those vulnerabilities that perhaps you don't even know are in there because they're repressed and buried, and we've had trauma, and then we've tried to protect our heart, for instance. That we kind of have, unconsciously made a protection thing, and then when we kind of work the fascia, so that can expose things, or we can movements and vibrations and things like that. Breath work can open things up, but you got to go into it in order to kind of know what it is and explore it. So I'm going up over his ribs here now, so we're going to go into the heart space type of thing, and I'm going to go through the breastbone a bit like that, so unravel a bit of that space, that might have been stuck and holding on, so to be able to breathe and things like that. So when we're doing this kind of work, it's probably really important that we tune into the person, look at if they're struggling, or if the breathing's changing, or there's emotion coming up, or just with the conversation, so you might have to back off a little, or things like that.
Another interesting thing about this front line is it lengthens when we're reaching up, right? So if you're standing on your toes and you're reaching up to reach something on the roof, towards the roof there, that front line of your body is expanding and decompressing. But if you think about people when we're younger, like when we're shorter, we'll be doing those movements a lot more. So kids tend to do a lot more of that just because the world is taller than them, or at least the modern world around us. But as we get into our adult bodies there, we're not as stimulated to do that upward reach as much, so the front line doesn't get that decompression. Just an interesting thing to note, how our lifestyles and movements change just from just the height. And then another thing to note as well, what Ninja was saying about the back bending, how we're not really opening up as much as we normally do. When people do try to do that, movements like in yoga, when they go into the cobra pose, quite often I hear that they'll feel a pinching in their back. What's happening there is that they're compressing the joint in their lower back, and they'll try to push through that as if they're trying to get more range or function out of their body. I find that that's actually a barrier that is not helpful, because when we push through that, you're actually going to stiffen the back up. So when you do movements like cobra or standing upright back bending, the right feeling, or the good feeling to have, is that stretch along the front side of your body. Yep. So if you can feel that, you can pursue that and try to get more gains out of that. If you're feeling a barrier or pressure in your low back there, just meet it, don't go through it.
Cool, man. I just diverged a little bit while you're saying that, but I think that will be cool. So what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. So I'm going to get you to just hold your head in place for a minute. Just don't, because I'm going to roll this down like that. Exposing, how's it right there? Is that a right spot?
Just maybe a tad up. Yep, that's good.
There?
Yep.
All right, so now I'm going to reconnect, and I'm going to do some work on his throat. So platysma. So I might actually, the platysma that goes down there. Hold on, mate. Platysma. And so it just shows the connective nature of our body as well. Like I want to just engage here, that platysma that joins onto here. I'm going to engage in there, and then I'm going to work in underneath the collarbone there a little bit, clavicle, and then I'm going to stay engaged, and I'm going to go over. So I'm just lightening up just a little bit, and I want to go into that space just above the collarbone there, and then I'm going to stretch it up. So I've got to be careful here that I'm not going to feel like he's getting choked. I want to actually engage with those muscle, so I'm going to stretch it rather than kind of digging into it too deep. Does that feel all right?
Yep.
Stretching that up, and then under the chin, and then I can kind of pull it like that, and then go under. So I'm going to surround that, stretch that out. So yeah, if you kind of have got things stuck in your chest and you can't get out your throat, something, so this could be an impetus to speak up, perhaps, you know. So get things off your chest, and yeah, things that are caught, you know, when we have emotions, we want to say something, but we kind of feel like we can't, it's not safe. Things can get stuck, and they can stay stuck inside you for, you know, decades perhaps, you know. So to do some work that shakes it up, some trauma release therapy, even do a bit of this and then go and process some of your stuff, it can be something that really helps out your life, because you're no longer a kind of a victim to that kind of stuff that's repressed. You kind of can understand it more and express it in a way that's healthy, and yeah, move through with a better understanding of that traumatic time in your life, perhaps, you know. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, just everything's connected in the body, you know. It's sort of like we started down above the pubic bone and that the abs, but we're kind of just doing a whole front line stretch like that.
It's incredible. You can really feel how there's no point where it just stops.
No.
Right? There's no space or break in between where he started and where he finished, or just one line of tissue, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah. I get you to sit up, man, and just sort of, you know, just move around a little bit. Just let the blood flow. Don't try and do anything crazy. Let it kind of integrate a bit. And then, yeah, just have a bit of a feel. How do you feel, man? Like having, like that was brand new kind of treatment. I kind of winged it and made it up as I went as well. And like, yeah, just sort of really gripped into that fascia and front line, and yeah.
Yeah, I felt it was quite good. Some bits felt fine, and other bits felt like there were pockets of like contracted tissue as you're kind of going over it. What was interesting about this technique is a bit different to the other ones which you see in our videos, where we kind of dive into the body here. Here we're directing force, but almost shearing, going longitudinal to the tissue there. So it's quite good when we think about body work. It's not just the muscles, not just the skeleton, but also like the connective tissue, the layers of things like the fat, and even the deeper layers of the skin as well. This all feeds into our movement.
Yeah.
So this feels incredible just to feel the length in this area.
Yeah, cool. Really good to talk to you in a couple of weeks, perhaps, about how this integrates as well. Like, because like that's the other thing kind of to know about bodywork is like things are kind of integrating over a 2-week period. You know, with after bodywork. So you kind of your body and mind need to communicate. You need to explore things, and kind of the unconscious mind kind of starts to know, oh, there's more movement through here, or we can heal this now. We can feed in some nutrients. We can ship out some, you know, dead cells and things like that. Something that's been blocked and stuck and stagnant, or you know, stuff that's not even you know, that's sort of calcified, or some plaque, or whatever it might be, that's sort of been stuck. So it is all this kind of process is happening, and like the integration period can take like 2 weeks. So and we talked a bit about emotional stuff that can be stuck in the body too. So that doesn't just sort of automatically, it's done, you know what I mean? So it's yeah, so it takes time to process things and to kind of understand things. So that's what the body's trying to do, is understand what we've just tried to encourage, and how the fascia, the thing that's been holding things together, holding it in a place, now it can change. It's more malleable of a thing. So yeah, it takes time to process and integrate. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
I think we're done.
Yeah. Done.